Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 19th of June for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to share some standout details that we can all collectively relate to, but please stay with me. I will go through each of the 12 zodiac signs in much greater detail. Now this week sees a transition. We have the Sun emerging from its new moon in Gemini at the end of last week, compromised by the sluggish and draining vibe of Neptune initially, but then by Wednesday we have the summer solstice and the Sun makes its way into the sign of Cancer. This is an incredibly important event in the overall astrological calendar. Western tropical astrology is based on the seasons. So this is the start of a seasonal quadrant 2, and it's an influence which basically lasts for the next 13 weeks, despite the fact the Sun only being in Cancer for 4 weeks. We also, however, have a lot of energy going on between Mercury and Venus across Monday and Tuesday, all week between Mercury and Mars, but later in the week Mars gets into a much more turbulent right angle with the disruptive energies of Uranus. So what will this mean for your zodiac sign? Please stay with me for more. If you are a new visitor, thank you for joining me. I've been doing these weekly videos for about 13 years and it does take a lot of prep, so I'd be honoured if you would subscribe. If you're a returning visitor, thank you for joining me once more. If you'd like to get your free weekly horoscope fired to your device, please see the subscription link beneath this video. Also, if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and embrace the power of more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can provide for you your life roadmap report. This will help you to gain much more intimate understandings of the patterns that have played out in your life so far. But in my package of 30% off, you can also get your 12-month personal forecast, totally unique to you. Don't know your time? You can buy my solar package with the same benefits. Again, please see the link below. So Scorpio, your week commencing the 19th of June forecast sees the energy of the full moon at the end of last week still very much to the fore as we come into this week, and that was in House 8. House 8 is the parts of our lives that perhaps in some ways need to be rejuvenated, and that can mean that certain strands come to an end. It's the cycle of life. Your zodiac sign has a much greater appreciation of this principle probably than any others. So transformation's in the works. It's just that Neptune, the planet of idealism, was applying to that new moon. And it's in the part of your situation to do with joys, love, romance. Is there a relationship issue that you're needing to really look at the present time? If that is the case, the good news is that your traditional ruler of Mars is applying to Mercury also in House 8, which can see you cut through and show a lot of leadership and determination to go for what's right for you. Also, Venus is at the top of your chart as well. So as much as you can show that thrust, you can also show a good deal of subtlety as well about the way you think about things, but also express yourself. Now later in this week, Uranus, a planet which is exalted in your sign, but in its full in the sign opposite to you of Taurus, your 7th house, well, that's in a direct clash with your traditional ruler. That's a much more turbulent combination. This could mean that you can have a full-on disagreement with someone at work in a position of influence. It may be it's going to be someone who works for you, perhaps someone older or younger within the family unit. Both of you can seem to just get that much more frustrated and annoyed much more quickly than would normally be the case. But just know this, Scorpio. On Wednesday, one of the most important events of the year occurs for you particularly because the Sun returns to the water element of Cancer, which shares your triplicity. And for you, this is the part of your situation to do with freedom, independence, adventure, travel, higher education, any kind of big knowledge. So all the intensity that the Sun and Mercury more recently have been stirring up about trying to understand deep change in your life, or in a more practical way, handling long-term finances, property matters, business issues. I feel that you're moving to a part of the year that's encouraging you to break out. And because your sign can be very all in, it's all or nothing with you, perhaps a complete switch of dimension will actually feel quite liberating. But just be aware, with Mars in such a dominating part of your chart, the 10th house, and in Leo, if there's something you feel very strongly about in a relationship matter, it could see with the Sun moving into the 9th house, whether it's around a business tie, a friendship, or an association, or a love relationship. If you feel that something isn't being sorted out in a way that's satisfactory to you, you could be quite feisty in your response and may even want to put some distance between you and that other person. Even if it's not necessarily a permanent distance, you could need some space as this week draws to a close.